Hello. So this week I'm just going to start real quickly. I know I talked about it last week, but boom, there's a QR code right there for the save the date, January 14th. This is kind of coming together, but I thought it would be a good idea to just get folks together to start the year off, to get the Portland startup community together, product-based companies, be they tech, or CPG or other kind of physical products. Thought it might be nice to get folks together, get the folks who support them together to kind of mingle and meet one another to kick the year off. I don't know. Rebuild some of that social fabric. You know what I mean? Just get us together. Okay, that's enough. Just save the date, follow the QR code. Make sure that you're there. It would be great to see you there. And still figuring out logistics, but something will happen on January 14th, and there will be people there. And hopefully you will be one of those people there. Cool. My chair has started creaking. I seriously hope you can't hear that because it's annoyingly creaking. It's driving me nuts. All right. Speaking of another, save the date, January 25th. And I'll get to the news. There's big news this week. I'll get there. Just hold your horses. January 25th, Silicon Forest Tech Summit. Not Silicon Florist, mind you. Silicon Forest Tech Summit. And if you missed the inaugural event, it was amazing. I was lucky enough to kind of be involved early in the concepting and the planning and all those kind of things. And Joseph and his team just did an amazing job with that event, and I don't expect the second one to be any different. So January 25th, there's a reason this region is called the Silicon Forest, and it's not just something we came up with a few years ago. It's been called the Silicon Forest since the 80s because of all the processor activity, because of all the printed circuit board design activity, because of Intel, Mentor Graphics, Tektronix, what have you. Lots of hardware, advanced manufacturing technology in the community, but also a lot of software activity. And so what Silicon Forest Tech Summit does is bring all those different types of folks, hardware, software, hard tech, soft tech, all together to just hear from some amazing speakers, meet people who are building things, test drive and experiment with some of the things that have been built. All that being said, it's a great event, and you should consider going, especially because it's a floating price point. I think tickets are set at $25, which is ridiculously cheap for this event. But also, if that's too much for you, you can float it down lower to a very cheap ticket. Or might I offer, if you recognize the value of what is being done here, you float it up a little higher and pay a little bit more for a ticket. That's all I'm saying. Just support people who are doing amazing programming and event work here in the region. Full disclosure, I'm an advisor. Again, this year, I don't know. I guess I didn't screw up last year. So Joseph invited me back to kind of help them along the way on this project. But I'm just a huge fan. I just love what they're doing. I'm looking forward to heading out to Hillsborough January 25th, for most of the day event that includes not only speakers, but a trade show and all kinds of networking and other opportunities. So, if you are curious about what's happening in the broader region when it comes to tech, or if you want to get connected to people outside of your particular discipline, there's nowhere better to start the year than the Silicon Forest Tech Summit. We might figure out some way to get out there. It's right on I think it's on the red line, the Max red line. Maybe we do a little geeks on a train out that way or something for the Portland folks. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But all that being said, two save the dates. One, January 14th here in Portland. be there to hang out with tech and startup-y and product-y kind of folks. And then, of course, January 25th, Silicon Florist Tech Summit. Grab your ticket. It'll sell out fast. It's going to be an amazing show. I've already seen a bunch of amazing speakers that they already have lined up, and I think I'm one of the speakers, not an amazing one. I may just do a video again this year. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I would love to see you at both of those events. So I'd love to see you on the 14th. I'd love to see you on the 25th. Come hang out, get involved with the community. Cool. I don't have anything. Just subscribe. Cool. Like, I would love to have you here every week. If you subscribe, subscribe. Thanks. All right. All that, your save the dates are done. I hope you scribbled them down, or you can rewind. So, as you may be aware, last week was in the US the Thanksgiving holiday for people, which then kind of kicks off the holiday season. No, Startup Santa, not tonight. We'll get to you later, just not tonight. Thank you. Kicks off the holiday season. You have Black Friday, where people start shopping, Small Business Saturday, you have Cyber Monday, and then you come up to Giving Tuesday, which is really you feel guilty about buying all this stuff, wanting to give back to nonprofits. Or maybe you don't feel guilty. Maybe you're just like, I'm waiting for this day to give back to nonprofits. That day seemed like a really appropriate day to reveal some work that has happened in our community that's super impressive. I think we should be keeping an eye on. And that is a collaboration between Instrument, which is a premier, like world famous, award-winning digital creative agency that we're just lucky to happen to have here in Portland. And, they started early on. They did really interesting web stuff and early digital stuff, and have continued to grow, continued to create a really impressive client base with folks like, companies you may have heard of, like Google and Nike and Aura and other companies like that. They do that kind of work, like big brand, global digital work, super creative stuff. But they also recognize that they are here in Portland. They need to be supporting the community and organizations here in town. So they have partnered with Vanport Studio. If you don't remember Vanport Studio, that's the project started by Stephen Green and Jelani Memory. Jelani, founder of a kids company started as a kids book about. They've come together to create this venture studio environment to support Black and Brown founders. So the combination of Instrument and Vanport Studio come together to support founders, and they do this thing called Build Week. And Build Week is a thing that will continue. It's not a one-time thing. Build Week was taking Instrument's creative talent and taking the folks that Vanport Studio is working with and really bringing them together in kind of a hackathon design sprint environment to ensure that founders are getting the creative support they need and that Instrument creatives are getting exposed to the types of interesting companies that are being built in the Portland area. So the initial Build Week that they've done featured 3 companies here locally in town. Camp Yoshi, which is a great program that really takes folks out into the wilderness and cooks them amazing food and gives them amazing experiences, and is almost like it's a getaway, but it's a kind of high-end, almost like glamping. I mean, you're still camping, but the food is definitely glamping when Camp Yoshi is doing it. Sorry, if I seem slightly crankier. If you notice that cut and I seem slightly crankier, it's because the furnace kicked on while I was recording and I was trying to get there before the furnace. It's okay. It's fine. I'm just, for your audio levels, I'm trying to make this happen. So let me begin. Again, that's a lot of what Cambioshi does. But I hear the food is top notch. So that's one of the ones they worked with. Hot Mama, which, there was a time where I would have said Hot Mama salsa. But fact of the matter is, Hot Mama has amazing salsa. They have amazing sauces. They have amazing chips, like the chips. They're really good chips. So Hot Mama was another one that they worked with. And then, of course, finally, Pakmoto. Pakmoto, who I've talked about before. I think I talked about them last week because I remember, or the week before, because I remember cracking up about the fact that I wore a backpack the first time I talked about Pakmoto. But they were also part of this Build Week experiment. And, they Pitch Black alum just recently got accepted for the Beaverton Startup Challenge, and of course have recently completed a successful Kickstarter. And if you're not familiar with Pakmoto, since I've explained everybody else's business, if you're not familiar with Pakmoto, they have like a backpack harness that you can put different pack sizes onto it and trade them in and out. So really designed to prevent people throwing away backpacks or disposing of backpacks because they're not quite right for folks. So really just finding a way to reduce that waste in the environment. So basically what the Build Week did was help these companies and these founders with their branding, their positioning, their identity systems, all these kind of things, but they did it in kind of a hackathon format. So really allowed their creatives to kind of parachute in, work really hard, really quickly on some really interesting ideas and really help propel these local brands forward. Okay, bad segue time. Speaking of our region, if you're a parent in our region, you have grade school age children, it's highly likely you have come across the Oregon Battle of the Books, which is they select books and they say, hey, kids, learn these books. Then we're going to quiz you on these books and you're going to compete against other schools who are participating in this program. Oregon Battle of the Books. It's a thing. It's one of those like competitive kid things. And there are different stages. I think there's like an elementary stage and a later stage. But all by way of being said, the Oregon Battle of the Books, OBOB, can be a thing that is challenging for which to prepare. And not only for the kids, but for the parents who are trying to be helpful to the kids and help them learn the books and the questions and all those kind of things. I mean, it's an open book test. Basically, you get like the questions and the books and stuff, but it's that preparation. It's given the kids the opportunity to learn, to read, to reflect on what they've learned. And so I've always been a huge fan of Oregon Battle of the Books. But this year, a parent-kid team took it one step further in terms of preparation with OBOB Dog. They created an application called OBOB Dog that allows students to either practice individually and have the almost flashcardy questions delivered to them, or to work with a friend or a parent or a teacher or whomever to like have some more dialogue around those questions and answers. So very like simple application when you think about it, but super impactful and super helpful for kids who might not have the opportunity to practice as much simply because they just don't have the environment that allows them to get that reciprocal engagement. So I am really looking forward to OBOB this year, to see people who use OBOB Dog, to train up, to see which teams have used this application to really improve their responses and their understanding of the reading they've done. And I don't know, Oregon Battle of the Books may be up for like a whole new level. Like this is really upping the game for everyone involved in OBOB. So if you have a kid who is participating in OBOB, if you're a parent who wants to help the other students participating in Oregon Battle of the Books, take a look at OBOB Dog. Of course, I'll link it up, and help the students in your region, school, your kids better prepare for Oregon Battle of the Books using technology. All right, this episode's been all over the place, but I know I talked about it last week. It's sold. I would put your name on there. So, you know those things in Portland where you're like, oh, darn, that event is sold out. And then you look at photos later and like half of the seats are empty. I'll tell you why that happens. This is an aside. It has nothing to do with what I'm about to talk about, but let me tell you why that happens in Portland in particular. This is our overly friendly RSVP culture, which from a different perspective is quite caustic. So I'm just going to call us out on it. If you're an event manager, if you're a programming kind of event programming kind of person, you absolutely hate this part about the niceness and engagement of the Portland community. And I speak from experience. So RSVP to that January 14th thing, but there's going to come a time when I'm going to tell you to actually show up. So anyway, here's the deal with Portland. What is the deal with Portland RSVPs? Here's the deal with Portland RSVPs. Portland people are so sweet and they're so kind and they're so nice that anytime they see the opportunity to RSVP to an event, like if they see something like, oh, this is really great. This seems like a great event. I'm really happy this is happening. I want this event to continue. I want these people to feel like their time was well spent programming this event and creating it. So I am going to RSVP. Even though I have no intention of showing up. That is Portland. That is the problem with Portland events, and it happens time and time again. I've experienced for the last 30 years. I'm not lying about this. Portland people do this consistently. They RSVP to stuff that they don't show up for because they were just like, I really like this idea. You should keep doing this. Like I've literally talked to Meetup.com and said, just do a like button, like make a, are you showing up? No? Yes? Like, just tell me you like what I'm doing. Like, don't tell me you're going to show up, because then I plan for there being hundreds of people there and there are a handful of people there. Like it's consistent across the board. It is so rare to see a sold out event actually be sold out. And I'm sorry I've gone on a rant. It seems a little over the top for the holiday season, but I'm just saying, I just had to tell you. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. So it's fine. Just keep doing, you do you. Like, do your thing. I don't care. Like, RSVP and then don't show up. It doesn't really matter because it's expected. Like, you want to really shock me? RSVP and then actually show up. That would be crazy. So, all by way of being said, Demolicious Champion of Champions competition is sold out. Sold out RSVP-wise. So, supposed to be full, but I would still encourage you to RSVP if you actually want to show up, because I can guarantee there will be some fall off. There will be some seats there. You can probably still get in. I will be there. It would be great to see you. I covered the premise before, but the Demolicious Champion of Champions event is designed to take all the people who've won Demolicious events throughout the year and bring them all to stage. They've only had 3 minutes at the month-to-month Demolicious event. At Demolicious Champion of Champions, they will have 5 minutes each because they are competing against people who've won before. And so basically you go through all the pitches, crowd gets to vote, somebody wins. The person who wins Demolicious Champion of Champions gets to take the title belt and go home with it. Unlike Demolicious month to month, you get to put a sticker on the belt. You get a photo opportunity with the belt, but you don't get to take it unless you can win Champion of Champions. So I read off the companies that were competing last time around, but let me give you the actual pitch order so that you know who goes when. And, maybe if you have to show up late or you have to leave early, you will know what you miss out on. So in terms of who is pitching at Demolicious Champion of Champions, here's the order. Rose City Robotics, Shotzi, Forcefield, Ranger EV, Airbuild, Fanwagon, Detox, Kickplan, Flat. That's 9 companies that will be pitching because you're like 9 companies there, 12 months. Yeah, I get it. But like some months, the defending champion comes back and continues to hold the title because they're just that good. So let's see. Bring all these people together, see who pitches, see who the fans. So let's see. Let's bring all these people together. Let's bring them back, pitch against one another, see who the audience likes. And once the dust settles at the Mission Theater, we'll see who the champion of champions is. And again, I'll be there. Would look forward to running into you there. So just go ahead and RSVP. I mean, I seriously doubt you're going to get turned away because of Portland RSVP culture. So I'm sorry, I don't want to go on that rant again. Looking forward to that. December 10th at McMinman's Mission Theater on Gleason. I think it's on Gleason, Northwest Gleason. And should be a great event. Really looking forward to seeing all these pitches and everybody hanging out. And really looking forward to being able to reveal to you next week who the 2024 Demolicious Champion of Champions is. So stay tuned. Wow. I kind of went off the rails on a rant there, but justified. It's the holiday season. I hope you're starting to get some downtime, starting to feel that holiday joy. If you need gifts from Oregon makers, gifts made in Oregon, be it gift boxes or products that you either want for friends and family or want to ship elsewhere, I will link up a great list of Oregon made gifts for you from which to select and hope that helps you and mitigates your stress during this holiday gift giving time. But hope you're hanging in there. And until we get the chance to chat again, please keep up the good work.